What's up, everybody? We're back here for the Fran Lung Show. It's been a while, but we decided to bring it back ahead of the 2024 Dubai Fitness Championship. So today, I'm going to do the run through of the women's field, highlight some 5 women that I think have some real podium shots, as well as 4 other women that'll be interesting to watch on the field this week. So for Dubai, they switched it to be predominantly an online qualifier this year. So without any guaranteed invites, the field's different. The field composition is going to be different than we have seen in last year. Breaking down the field for the women. So again, based off this qualifier, only 4 women who competed at the CrossFit Games this year are going to be hitting the competition floor. It should have been 5. Gabrielle Magala competed in the qualifier and had qualified, but unfortunately she tore her Achilles at Rogue last month. So down to 4 women at the field, and I think 8 all time have been to the game. So much kind of lower competitive strength than we have seen at past Dubai, which is kind of odd. Ahead of the qualifier, they announced that the first prize is going to be 50 grand, second's 30 grand, and third is 20 grand, which kind of in the grand scheme of CrossFit things, you got the games, you got Rogue, you got Wadapalooza, and then you got Dubai. So kind of the 4th richest prize purse in the world, but we only have 4 women who went to the games this year competing. So kind of odd that way. There's also individual prize purses for events. So 1,500 if you win an event, 1,000 if you finish second, and 750 if you finish third. So there is some money to be won. So it should be interesting to watch it out that way. So my favorite, or to win the championship for the Dubai, is Karin Freyova. So she is actually the 2-time defending champion of the Dubai Fitness Championship. So coming back in, looking to win her 3rd in a row. She is one of the athletes that did withdraw from the games this summer after the tragic death of Lazar Ducic. So Freyova is coming back for the Dubai Championship here. Again, another strong year for Freyova. She finished 4th at the French Throwdown. So even on a combined semifinals leaderboard, she's going to be the top athlete in this field. So really, again, she is the favorite here. Won Dubai last year, also won Madrid Championship and French Throwdown from a competitive standpoint, and 14th at the games last year. So outside of Holte and Jamie Simmons, she has the best finish at the CrossFit Games in her career and best finish since 2021. So probably still the favorite to run away with this one. So next up, you got Matilda Garnes. Matilda Garnes, she was part of that Peak 360 team that finished 3rd at the CrossFit Games this year. So kind of stepped away from the individual games to focus on team this year. She kind of had a setback in 2023. She finished 33rd at the games after finishing, what was it? It was 19th in a rookie year in 2022. So interesting to see how she did have that step back last year, then elected to go team. So having her step on the big stage at Dubai, interesting to see how Garnes has evolved as an athlete after spending the last year working on the team standpoint. Last time we saw her at Dubai 2022, Garnes finished 2nd place behind Freyova. So honestly, if it lines up the way I would expect it, same thing will happen at the top of the podium this year. Expect Garnes to finish 2nd. Recently, she competed at the Belgrade Games. She took top prize there. 6 events. She had 2 seconds and 4 firsts. So pretty impressive finish for Garnes. Actually, check that. She had 2 firsts and 4 seconds. Either way, first place for Garnes at the Belgrade Championship. Second to the Belgrade Championship with 4 event wins was Alicia Fuliano. So she's been to the games a few times. She did withdraw this summer as well after finishing 8th at the French Throwdown. Last year, she made her appearance at Dubai. Fuliano finished 5th, so impressive for her. And then last year, had her career best finish 20th at the CrossFit Games. So big showing for her. Really hasn't done anything else this off season outside of Belgrade, but Fuliano is definitely going to be in a competition for a podium spot at Dubai. 4th athlete to watch out for, Linda Kiesman. Kind of just interesting to see how she does with this field at Dubai. So she did finish 19th at the CrossFit Games this summer, was her rookie appearance. But again, just with everything that went on at the Games, it'd be interesting to see, how true of a representation that is of Kiesman's athleticism, and if she is able to hold her own with, the likes of Garnes and Freyova at Dubai. So interesting to watch that. Again, but Kiesman, she finished 7th at the French Throwdown, which again, from the women's side was hands down the most competitive. I know I went through an exercise of combining all of the different semifinals and event scores. And Kiesman, even though she was 7th at the French Throwdown, her scores ranked globally would have been good enough for 9th overall. So definitely was able to hold her own on semifinals, which makes me think that the Games was no fluke for her. But interesting to see on how she does stack up against the rest of the field at Dubai. From an off-season competition, she's done Madrid a couple times. So last year she finished 11th and then 15th in 2022, which isn't great. But again, having all the confidence of making the Games could be the difference for Kiesman there. And again, the fifth athlete that I expect to have a strong shot at the podium, Anikha Greer. So Greer, so close to making the CrossFit Games the past couple of years. This year, she finished one spot out of the CrossFit Games by 1 point, and last year she was 3 points out of a qualifying spot, both at North America East. So just again, right on that cusp, just hasn't been able to get it over the finish line for Greer. But again, that has also overshadowed some of the off-season competition she's had recently. So last year at the Down Under CrossFit Championship, Greer finished 2nd behind Maddie Sturt. She was ahead of Games athletes this year, Grace Walton and Amy Kringle at Down Under. And then last year finished 2nd at Madrid Championship, I think just behind Freyova. I think Fuliano was in that field, or Kiesman was in that field. So definitely Greer showed there. Yeah, so load that up. Elena Cartella Zahuja, she was 4th at Madrid last year. She's competing at Dubai. Jackie Dahlstrom, Andrea Soldberg, Linda Kiesman, amongst the names that Greer beat out at Madrid last year. So she definitely shows she has what it takes to make it at this level. Now, Greer also started off the year with a 3rd in the Open. So again, just right on that cusp of being a Games athlete and being likely a top 20 Games athlete once she is able to crack that field. So interesting to see how Greer stacks up with some of the Games veterans that are coming out of Europe. So really, those are my 5 podium favorites for Dubai. If I was able to pick a podium, probably Freyova, Garnes, and Anikha Greer. Who would I expect to be on that top spot? 4 athletes that I am interested in watching, just seeing how they compete. First up, Kristin Holte. So last time we did see her, she was retiring after the 2021 season. She had a walk-off victory with Team Krieger at 2022 Wadapalooza. But before that, she had a 4th at the CrossFit Games in 2021, just missing out on that podium with her epic race with Annie Thorisdottir. And so to round out the 2021 season, she had a 6th at Rogue and a 2nd at Dubai last time we saw her in Dubai. So again, since that time though, she did retire. She had a baby, but then does the qualifier and makes it. I think she was top 15 in the qualifier. So really kind of a legitimate shot to perform well. In the semifinal era, she's the only athlete in this field to finish in the top 10 of the CrossFit Games. It was 3 years ago, but still, she finished 4th at the CrossFit Games. We've seen other athletes finish up in that top area of the CrossFit Games in 2021 that have slipped down into the mid-teens, which is where we're finding Karin Freyova and Linda Kiesman and Matilda Garnes. So just because she's been away from the game, I don't really expect her to have fallen off from a competitive scale, especially in this field. This year, she finished 69th in the Open, which again, top 75 in the Open, pretty impressive. She was 8th in 24.1, so she can still compete at a high level. So I'm excited to see Holte compete at Dubai. You also have from the 2019 CrossFit Games podium, Jamie Simmons. She'll be back as an individual. Saw her at the 2023 Games. Unfortunately, she hurt her shoulder. I think it was one of the snatches or the clean and jerk in the Olympic total, which caused her to withdraw. But she was still on track for, you know, a low teens finish. Even after having to withdraw and missing the last day, she finished 17th. So Jamie Simmons being back. She went team this year, but her team, CrossFit Walleye, decided to withdraw after the passing of Lazar Ducic at the games. So good to see her back as an individual. Interesting to see how she fits in with this top of the elite field. From Australia, an athlete I'm looking forward to seeing how she does as well, Emily DeRoy. So she's just coming off fittest team on earth with CrossFit Mayhem Thunder. DeRoy, you know, she did make it to the CrossFit Games as a rookie last year, finished kind of at the bottom of the standings, and then, you know, had a 9th at Down Under and then a 28th at Wodapalooza last year. So wasn't really killing it after making it to the Games as a rookie last year, but then went team, you know, trained alongside one of the best athletes to ever do it, Kara Saunders. So it'll be interesting to see how Roy steps back onto the individual field at Dubai and just kind of see how that foreshadows the year to come for her. And then one last name was Andra Moistis. So she's coming out of Estonia, really kind of surprised the world at Wodapalooza last year when she finished 6th, but then didn't end up making it to semifinals. And it wasn't due to the box step-ups. It was kind of the handstand event, I think the clean and jerk event, which were her worst events. So it's interesting to see, you know, how she does. I don't know if Wodapalooza was a 6th, but again, like, to finish 6th on a stacked field like Wodapalooza, you got to be a pretty good athlete in your own right. In individual quarterfinals, she finished 5th in Europe for event 2, which was the wall balls and the lateral box jump overs. So has some top-notch talent there, but I think it's just the strength and the handstand push-ups that got her in quarterfinals. So we'll see how she does at the elite field, and just see if kind of last year was a fluke or if she is able to put it together. Previously, kind of her only other main big event outside semifinals was the 2023 Madrid Championship. So there, Andra Moistis finished 14th. So again, like holding her own. Again, I think she was a few stops behind Kiesman, who ended up finishing top 20 at the games this year. So kind of that area of the field super tight. So another year of training, maybe that's going to put her kind of over that hump to be within the games caliber athlete. So interesting to see how she does. All right, that's it for the women's field on Dubai. All this stuff available on franlung.com. You can type in the athlete's name, brings up their competition history, so go check that out. And if you made it this far, hit like, hit subscribe, tell a friend. We got the men's preview here coming real soon, so you don't want to miss out on that one either. Thanks, take care.